Hello, children. Let us discuss with the next topic of international institution, that is the affiliated bodies of UNO. There are totally six affiliated bodies of UNO. In that, we are going to discuss the first affiliated body of UNO, that is General Assembly. General Assembly is also known as the World Parliament or the Global Parliament, where all the member states of UNO are the representatives of General Assembly. As you know, there are totally 193 representatives of UNO, which are also the representatives or the members of General Assembly. And the meeting which is there of this General Assembly, normally it is being held in the month of September till the mid of December, which is being held in the Hall of New York for the annual General Assembly session, or even though for the general debates as well, where every country is going to send five representatives from their member countries to discuss any of the issue of General Assembly, where all the five members they have the power of one vote. And there are some important decisions are being taken here during the meeting, such as on peace and security, or on the admissions of new members, and the budgetary matters as well, where in the meeting, at least two-thirds of majority is required mandatory to pass any issue, and all the decisions in the meetings are being taken on the questions by a simple majority. There is also a president which is being elected here every year for the term of 1 year, and there are six important committees which are representing the work or the resolutions of General Assembly, which are known as disarmament and international security, and the second one is economic and financial committee, third one is social and humanitarian and cultural committee, fourth one is special political and decolonization committee, and the fifth one is administrative and budgetary committee, and the last sixth one, that is legal committee, which are carrying out the draft resolution which are being prepared by the General Assembly. And this General Assembly, I have told you, it is acting like the world parliament, or it is acting like the global parliament of United Nations of organization. The second important affiliated body or organ of UNO is known as Security Council. First of all, you know that this Security Council has the primary responsibility under the Charter of United Nations of Organization for the maintenance of international peace and security, where this Security Council has made up of 15 member states, which are consisting of 5 permanent members and the 10 non-permanent members. The 10 non-permanent members are being elected by General Assembly for the period of 2 years, and the 5 permanent members of this Security Council are known as China, France, Russia, United Kingdom, and United States of America, where this Security Council has been given the veto power by UNO for all the 5 permanent members. What does this veto power means? It means, or it refers to the power of the permanent members to accept or reject any resolution of the Security Council. the unconditional whatever veto possessed by the five governments has been seen as the most undemocratic charter of the United Nations of organization. And the next important thing which is there here in the Security Council is the approval of all the permanent member is a must for the any decision to become operational. As you know, to make any judgment here in the Security Council, the approval of all the 15 member countries is mandatory here, or the 5 members approval is mandatory here to make any decision in Security Council. And presently our India is also striving a lot to become the sixth permanent member of Security Council, where for this Russia is always supporting India to become the permanent member of Security Council for the maintenance of its peace and security in the world. And this Security Council is always trying to solve each and every problem whatever is there in the world. And along with this, Security Council is also presently electing the judges of ICJ, which is known as International Court of Justice. All the 15 judges which are there in International Court of Justice are being elected by Security Council itself. And the next important affiliated body of UNO is known as Economic and Social Council. This Economic and Social Council has totally 54 member countries which are being elected by General Assembly only, where every year 18 new members are being elected for the period of 3 years by General Assembly only. But this Economic and Social Committee is acting like the central platform in United Nations of organization. For what purpose? For the purpose of reflection, debates, and innovative thinking on sustainable development. Already you have discussed, or already we have discussed about the sustainable development. As I told you, sustainable development is nothing but the resources whatever are available in our country, we need to preserve it for the future generation. And this Economic and Social Committee is always trying to make innovative thinking as how to preserve all these resources in each and every country of the world. There are some of the important functions which are there of this Economic and Social Committee, as it is always trying to conduct some important studies on economic, social, cultural, educational, health, and other international issues, and it will send or share the reports to each and every country of the world. Out of 193, where all the 54 members, if they have any issues or if they have any kind of the problems and related to the economical, sociological, cultural, educational, or health, or any kind of the issues, if they are going to have those kind of the reports, this Economic and Social Committee is going to send to all the 54 members out of 193 which are the part of this Economic and Social Committee. And the second important function of this Economic and Social Committee is it is also solving the issues like refugee problems, women's status, and the residence, and many other issues which are coming within the purview of this committee. You know, even though this Economic and Social Committee will try to resolve the major problems which are there of all the 54 countries in relation to the refugee problem. Refugee in the sense migration of the people from one country to another country. Or if the women are not going to get any of a status, for that also, this Economic and Social Committee is trying to solve the problem by giving a proper opportunity for the women in their own country. And if the residents of a particular country is also having any of the issue, this Economic and Social Committee will try to resolve that problem in relation to the residency of an individual in his own country. And this committee which is there, it is also going to solve, or it is also going to recommend is nothing but to suggest on some important issues of the human rights and basic freedom. Each and every country, after the declaration of human rights by United Nations of Organization on 10th of December 1948, every country has adopted their basic fundamental rights and the freedom. Even our India has adopted the fundamental human rights in the third chapter of the Constitution among 25 chapters of the Parliament of India. In that, we have granted all the fundamental basic rights to each and every individual, where these rights and freedom are not being implemented in a proper way. But Economic and Social Committee is trying to suggest to each and every country for the implementation of all these basic rights and freedom in their own country in a important or in a proper way. And the next important function of this ECOSOC, that is organizing the conferences on HR, culture, and education. For all the 54 countries, this ECOSOC is always going to organize the conferences if they are lacking in the knowledge or if they are lacking in the proper education, as they are going to conduct the conferences on resources of the individuals or resources of the people, which is known as human resource, or they are going to conduct the conferences on cultural activities, or they are going to conduct the conferences on education as well. These all the conferences are being conducted by ECOSOC for all the 54 countries, just to have a proper knowledge of all these important issues. And along with this, the next important function which is there of ECOSOC, that is, it is also going to coordinate with some other important agencies of UNO as well, where some of the important other agencies with whom it is going to cooperate are known as ILO, which is being expanded as International Labour Organization, and FAO, which is expanded as Food and Agricultural Organization, and the last one more important, that is known as WHO, which is being expanded as World Health Organization. And the fourth important affiliated body of UNO, that is known as Trusteeship Council. In the image you can see this Trusteeship Council is totally empty. As what is the reason why they have given an well, this Trusteeship Council is presently acting as like the sub-organization of General Assembly. It was normally established in the year 1945 itself, and under the Charter 13th of UNO, it is providing a proper identification for the Trusteeship Council, where this Trusteeship Council has been abolished or it has been closed in the year 1994, where all the trust territories had attained self government or independence. As you know, the Trusteeship Council has suspended or stopped its operation from 1st November 1994, and there was a resolution which has been adopted by this organization on 25 May 1994 to amend its rules of procedure and to drop the obligation to meet annually every year and to meet on an occasion whenever it is required. And even though this organization which is there, it is going to provide support only to those entities or countries which has not yet achieved independence. Now presently there is no any country which has been not left under the non-independence. The last country which has achieved independence in the year 1994, which was known as a Palau nation. But presently there is no any member entity which is a part of this organization, so it is acting like the sub organization of General Assembly. And important affiliated body of UNO, that is International Court of Justice. This International Court of Justice is presently the principal judicial body of United Nations of organization, where it has totally 15 judges to take each and every decision in the ICJ. This organization which is there, it has been held at the Hague city of Netherlands for the maintenance of peace, where all these 15 judges has the term of 9 years, and they are capable or eligible for the another term as well after the end of a 9 years term. And although just now I have told you, this organization is being held or located in the Hague city of Netherlands, and it is always going to take decisions on the majority basis, where this ICJ's most important role is to settle in accordance with the international law or the legal disputes which are being submitted by its states, to give the advisory opinions and legal questions which are referred to it by the United Nations organs and the specialized agencies. And the court's judgment, whatever is there, it is not mandatory applied to each and every country or to any country. It is being bound by their own nation whether they accept or they reject any judgment which is being passed by the International Court of Justice. And the last important affiliated body of UNO, that is known as Secretariat organ. The General Secretary of UNO is always the Secretary of Secretariat as well. With the present General Secretary of UNO, who is known as Antonio Guterres, he is also the present head of Secretariat organ, who is known as the executive of UNO as well. This secretariat organ is presently has the head office in New York, and its branches are also being held in the three important cities, that is at Geneva, Vienna, and at Nairobi. And as although I have told you, the head of this secretariat organ is known as Antonio Guterres, who is carrying out the executive power of United Nations of organization. And the general secretary or the secretary general as Antonio Guterres, he is being elected for the period of 5 years, who is being presently from Portugal. And even though remember, whatever day-to-day work or the administrative work which is there of United Nations of organization, it is being carried out by this secretariat organ itself. And I have told you already, this secretary general has the term of 5 years, and he is also having the eligibility of a renewal term also. The next important which is there, we are going to learn, that is the achievements of United Nations of organization. The first achievement which is there of UNO, that is known as peacekeeping achievement. This peacekeeping achievement